Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Facebook ad campaign setup, account setup tutorial. This is what we went over when I came to visit you guys. Um, but for those who couldn't log into their Facebook account or didn't end up following along during class time, this is an opportunity for you guys to kind of follow along on your own pace. And I can go over some of the things that we talked about um, when I was over there as well. So in this video, we'll basically go from setting up a business manager account in Facebook to house all your Facebook data, to building an ad account, to building and linking your Facebook page and Instagram page. We'll also go over briefly how to integrate a pixel. In this example, I'm using a Squarespace site, but I know you guys are on Wix, but I needed a live site in order to do this. And I don't have a live Wix website with me right now that I can set up and show it as an example. So we're doing my lovely wife Sarah's new event business, Moment Maker, as the example. Hers is a Squarespace site. So it will look a little bit different for you to do Wix, but because Facebook's very cool, it has a built-in integration. So just follow along with the integration steps that they give you for Wix. And you always have Davey and Nick there to help you with any of those tech questions if they come up. And then we'll finish it up by just going over briefly campaign structure, ad set structure, and building out an ad. Again, we did do this in class already, so if you followed along, you did it all in class, you don't even need to look at this video. Feel free to enjoy your weekend. But if you haven't yet done that, let's dive in. So we're going to go into Facebook. So what we want to start out with is making a new browser. And we're going to go into business.facebook.com/overview. And you're going to look and see a screen like this. Okay. So if it may not look exactly like this. So something that we should talk about here right now is that Facebook is constantly changing their layouts, adding new features to different ad accounts, removing features. They're basically consistently playing with the platform. And they roll it out to different ad accounts and different users at different times. And so that makes building these tutorials a little bit difficult because your screen might not look like this at all when you go to /overview. But that's only because Facebook has rolled out a different format to me than to you. And I haven't seen this one, so this is new to me. That's why I bring it up. So don't freak out if it doesn't look exactly like this. You're probably still in the right spot. Either way, we need this to log in with Facebook. So we're going to log into Business Tools from Meta here. You may get something that's called create a new account here. And this is where, if you hadn't made a Facebook account, this is where you would make a new account. If you had made a Facebook account, which I mean, you probably have, this is where you would do that. So you're going to log into here, log into your Facebook, and then it will redirect you to this page. Let's get started with Business Tools from Meta, which we want to. So if we don't have a Facebook account, we can log in with Instagram to use Meta Business Suite. I wouldn't recommend that. It's a little bit harder to integrate Facebook once you've done the Instagram login. I mean, they claim it's pretty easy, but I have seen snags where people have logged in with Instagram, and then it was a little bit harder to get out of the Instagram only business suite. So you can create a new account and see here it will ask you your business and account name, your name, your business email, things like that. So we're going to create a new business portfolio right now in Business Manager. And the name of the business that we're doing for this example is Moment Maker. Now this is the public name of your business. So you want this will be visible. So you want to make sure that this isn't like Zach's awesome Facebook sales gonna crush it.com, right? You want it to be your business. And then your name, let's call this my lovely wife, Sarah, and then you would use your business email. So in this case, it's this. By the way, if you have a wedding coming up and you want to have a really cool one, Sarah can help you with that. And that's her email. So we're going to add this into and create a new business account. Now, I don't know actually if I can do this. Oh, great, I did. Excellent. So you're going to get a confirmational email address. I wasn't sure if I could because you can only have so many business accounts under your Facebook account. And I was like, I might be maxed out. So here we have another one that I've made as an example. But you're going to get to something like this. And this is, if you look at the URL business.facebook.com, we're still in our business manager account, and you're going to have a nice little sort of welcome page. Now, it probably won't look like this because this one already has some things already in here, like an ads manager, some profiles. It just redirected me to that one because I think alphabetically. But what we want to do is go to, this is probably more like what you'll see when you log in because you don't have anything yet. So we got no new ad accounts, we got no profiles, we got no pages, we got no nothing. So let's go through and we'll make these things. Now, you are going to get an email that says, hey, you got to confirm that this is real. So I'm going to stop sharing just so I can go into the email and confirm it. And you can't see all the secrets in that email address. So I'm just going to stop the share, but we're still going to record. I think we're still recording. Yeah, looks like we are. Okay, so right now I'm just going in to find my confirmation email from the F book. And we don't have it yet. So it might be taking a little bit to get that. And that's fine. Let me just check my other email here. Just make sure it didn't go to my Facebook email, which it may have. No, I just don't think they've sent it yet. So we're still waiting on that. So I will go back to the Sharesies. Cool. So here we are back again to this. Okay. Now, what we want to do is go to settings to really set this all up. I mean, you can do it here. Go to business settings. If you don't see this layout, you can go to this little fun hamburger menu, pull this out, and you'll see here all these different links. There's settings here. There's also another one down below, I believe, or maybe that's just there now. Oh, right here, settings. All those go the same place. Essentially, we want to go to your business settings. So we got people added in. We got Sarah Ridout in here as her with business portfolio access. She has access to everything, which is what she wants because she's the business owner. This is what you will want as well. But if you wanted to add people to your business account, which houses your ad account and your Facebook pages and things like that, once we set it up, this is where you would do that. So let's say you had an employee or someone that you've hired to work on your Facebook marketing for you, and you need to give them access to your Facebook page. This is where you would do that. So you would go to people here, you would go to invite people, and you would get their email address that they have linked to their personal Facebook account. So in this case, we would type in, like let's say I wanted to give it to Dave, I would type in Dave's email address here, right? And then you can give a different advanced options for, just temporary access for a month or something, or you can give them access over here to different business assets as well. And we'll go over that in a second. But that's where you would do that. Then down here, we're going to go to pages. And in order to run ads on Facebook, you need to have a Facebook page. So we're going to create one here. If you already have one made, what happens when you click add is you would go add an existing Facebook page. Now, this is when you own the Facebook page, right? This wouldn't be if you were collaborating it. So in the case of me, when I work with different businesses, I request shared access to a Facebook page. I pick this one. because I'm not telling Facebook I own it. I don't own it. But what I do need is access to it, right? This is add an existing Facebook page is where you would click if you owned the Facebook page and you've already been boosting posts, for example, you've already been running some ads, or you've already made it your Facebook page. You just haven't made an ad account yet. But we haven't done that yet. So we're going to go create a new Facebook page. And this is what you would do if you haven't made a new one. It's fairly straightforward. Again, we're just going to type in the details. This page name is visible. So you want to make sure that this is something that people can see. You can go into category. Event planner sounds about right. Wedding planning service sounds about right. You can go up to 3. I think 2 is fine now. And then bio, optional. So we can write a quick about what your business does, services you provide, purpose of the page, right? So we can go, we make your moments memorable. Custom wedding planning and event coordination. All right. We're going to click next. And then we got, okay, your page will be created. See here, it even gives you a nice little visual so you know Moment Maker's Facebook page will now be owned by your business portfolio. Happens to be called the same name, but it could be called anything realistically. And once it's created, business admins with full control of this business page will be able to manage it. And you go, yep, that sounds good to me. Let's create it. And we're going to get a rainbow wheel. Done. And here you have a ID. So this is super important. This is your very unique, horrible to memorize strand of numbers that is unique to your Facebook page. And no one can take that away from you. But you will need that sometimes when you're making different integrations. This is also what you would share when you're sharing your page. So we have this page in here, and we can click it again. People, right, shows up. And this is where you would want to add people if you wanted to share that access to the page and give more than just yourself control of the page, right? So we're going to go to Instagram accounts now down below. And this is where you would add your Instagram account for your business, not your personal Instagram account. This is strictly your business Instagram account. So in this case, it's a Moment Maker Instagram account. So we can only add one Instagram professional account to a business portfolio. If your personal Instagram account, it will be switched to a professional one. So you say, yes, I agree to switch to a professional Instagram account, and we're going to claim it. And then this will pop up, and we're going to switch accounts. We're going to log in here. Moment Maker. Password. If you can see this, I'm going to stop typing it. No. Perfect. You're not allowed to know my password, guys, because I already know you tried to hack my credit card when I was over there and steal my $6 I have left on it. Cool. So it's just that simple. You're going to log in. Sure. Save it up. Save the things, all the annoying Google stuff. Great. Okay. Log in. Yes, I already did that. Are we experiencing a glitch? Are we experiencing a glitch in the matrix? Okay, well, I clicked not now and then it worked. And we're getting a lovely rainbow wheel here. And done. Moment Maker has been added. So new campaigns and ad sets will automatically include this Instagram placement, which is great. And again, you have your own ID for this Instagram account, and you'll see it's obviously different than the ID for your Facebook page. If you're a little bit of a techie, this might seem a little bit contrived and pedantic for you, but I just want to make sure, because people do tend to get stressed out around ad account ID numbers and tech stuff. So if I'm over explaining, please bear with me, friends. There might be some people who don't know this stuff. So cool. We have our Instagram ID. Bam. Now we want to go to ad accounts. So we've made our page. we've made or at least linked our Instagram account, and now we want to do the cool stuff and make an ad account. So if you have a new account, you're not going to have any ad accounts found here. Now, just like before with the Facebook page, there's 3 options. Request to share an ad account would be if you already had this under your business profile, but again, we wanted to share access to another business profile. So this is what I usually get from clients is access to it, right? You could claim an existing ad account. And if you guys had already boosted posts on Facebook and thrown a couple dollars your way, or Facebook's way, they automatically do create an ad account for you. So this is what you would click. And to find your ad account ID, you simply go into where you're normally going to boost your posts and see your little, all your fun stats and stuff, and you will have that unique ID. And that's what you would throw in here, right? But for 90% of you people, you probably don't have any of that. So we're going to click create a new ad account. Now, an ad account name, unlike the Facebook page and the Instagram account name, not visible. So for the sake of just making it easier for me to know what this ad account is about later, I'm going to call this Moment Maker. Maybe I'll call it Moment Maker Ads just because everything's called Moment Maker. You would click your time zone. For me, that looks right. And you would click your currency. Now, your currency is just how your stats are portrayed. You're still going to be charged the same way. This is just so I understand, like when I'm paying for things, I'm looking at those things in Canadian dollars. So are you sure you want to continue? So now we have another fun little thing. We're going to say Moment Makers underneath, Moment Maker Ads is now underneath Moment Maker, and it will be owned by this business portfolio, dun, 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 forever once I click this big scary create button, which I will do. And we're getting a fun rainbow wheel. And we're done. Now, it will say, would you like to add payment info for your account? You're going to click yes, and you're going to fill this out. Because I'm sharing my screen, you don't need to see my payment info. You Fox have already tried to do that. So this is where you would add your payment info, and you obviously do need to do that in order to run ads. But we're going to click done for now. And just like with our Instagram account and our Facebook page, we have access. We have people that we can assign, and we can give them different rules. So if I go here to add, if I go in here to people, it's loading, but it might just because there's 0 people in this account. Oh, there we go. See, Sarah has access to everything, right? But I could give her, full control. I want to give her all the things, right? So we would click assign. You could do partial access if you just wanted access to a couple things, right? So that didn't change anything in this example, but if you wanted to add, your business partner in here, whatever, and you wanted to only give them partial control, that's where you would outline what it is they're actually allowed to do in your cool new ad account. Now, I know we haven't done any of the fun stuff yet, and we've just been clicking around and building all these things, but we have one more annoying thing to do, and that is under data sources. So here's where we will talk about the pixel. Now, if you guys remember, a pixel, this is going to say it doesn't exist here anymore. It's been moved to data sources. But what a pixel is, or what a data set is a snippet of code that you install on your website. And by doing that, you give Facebook greater information to people once they click your Facebook ad. So without a pixel, Facebook can only look at things that happen on their platform or platforms, right? So on Instagram and Facebook, they can see user interactions. They can see who looked at the ad for how long. Did they click at it? Did they like it? Did they click the button? But once the user or the customer has clicked the ad and gone to your fancy website, they no longer have any visibility on what takes place there. So what a pixel does is it gives a unique ID to this business account and to your ad account, and you link that unique ID to your website, as well as install just a little bit of tracking on there, so that when people go from your ad to the website, there is a little linked data layer that can integrate with both those platforms. So in other words, your website can then share that information with Facebook and go, for example, if I clicked on an ad to buy some new glasses, and I clicked the ad and I went to the website and I looked at the checkout and I put something in my cart and then I bought it. The website, if it had a Facebook pixel installed, would then tell your Facebook business account that George looked at this ad, clicked it, went to the website, put those glasses in his cart, and then paid for it. And it all happened because of this specific ad on this specific day. And so it's a really good way for you guys to understand the effectiveness of your ads, to understand if, there's some problems, like if you bringing people to your website and the ads are working well, but once they get to the website, that's when you experience a lot of fall off in the checkout phase. For example, maybe your checkout's a little bit clunky or confusing, or maybe your language isn't well suited for the users that you're bringing over, right? We talked a lot about, when I was there, about making sure you're talking the same way on your website as you are on your ads so that it's not confusing. Anyway, blah, 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 boring George stuff over. Let's get into actually setting up your pixels. So I don't know why this page exists. Again, I think it's just because they're slowly changing the platform, right? But every time I make a new one, it says it doesn't exist here anymore. So you just click data sets. That's probably where it'll be for you. And we're going to click add, and we're going to name this. And again, this isn't facing, like forward facing, like no guest will see this or no client will see this, but we do want to call this something that we know. It said it added, but it didn't update my data set. So I don't know why I didn't do that. Mm-hmm. 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 Maybe it'll just take a second. Maybe I'm being impatient, which can happen because, I hate dead air. I know you guys are looking for the answers. Okay, great. It loaded. So we got Moment Maker here, which is the name I just created. You can see here 0 people have control, 0 people have partial access, and 0 people have partners. So we want to change that. So we want to go into people, assign some people. And in this ad account, we only have Sarah, and we want to give her manage everything, right? Because she's the big business baddie. Again, this is where you would give people different layers of different control. So under data sets, we're also going to click, we have our pixel clicked. You can see here it has a very unique ID. This is super important because in your integration, this is where you will add the ID. So when you're going to click the integration, which I'll show you in a second, it's going to go, well, what's the Facebook ID in Wix? And that's where you would find that right here. So you go data sets, right? Make sure you're in your business portfolio, data sets, click the data set that we just made. This is the ID number right here. And you could connected assets, you can see here we don't have any connected assets. Well, let's add some. So other business assets, connect other assets like an ad account. So we're going to click Moment Maker Ads, and we're going to add this data layer to the ad. Great. So now we have our Moment Maker ad. We have our data set. Perfect. Now we're going to go to, sorry, slow down, George, slow down. We're going to go into the 3 little dots here. Okay, and now we're going to open this up in Events Manager. Now, if your layout's slightly different and you don't see this, you can always get to the same spot by going into hovering over this settings little button here, and you can click Events Manager here. But this is where we are going to look at all the different fun events on the conversions that we just set up. So if you go to data sources over here, so you hover over this side, this overview, once you have this set up, will show a lot of fun things, but right now it obviously doesn't show anything. So we're going to go to data sources over here. And we see an overview, and your data hasn't received any activity, and that's because we haven't linked it to anything yet. So that gives you some options down here, right? So we can send events and parameters directly from your server using an API integration. Now, this is the best case But in order to do this first, we're going to set up a metapixel on here. So we're going to click Setup Metapixel. We're going to check for a partner integration because I know 90% of you are probably using Wix. If you're using WordPress, this will also appear. You can see it's going to have a lot of fun. The big brands will all be here. If you have your website built using custom code, I'm just going to click back for a second. You would pick the manual integration. And if you've built your website using custom code, you probably are smart enough to figure out how to do that. But essentially, you would take that manual code and put it in your header and any event snippets that you want. So that's what this setup manually thing is here, right? I'm just going to click this out so I get in the same way you do it. But anyway, yeah, so you can see here, manual layout pixel. That's where you would do this. We're going to use the partner integration. We're going to pick the partner from our list. See, we have WordPress here, Shopify here, you got Wix. The ones that you're most likely using are in here. And then it will tell you, based on your partner, how to do this. So I would always recommend turning on automatic advanced matching. It gives Facebook more data, and data is great. We want data so we can make informed decisions. So here is, in this case, is telling me how to do this, right? If you set up your metapixel by adding the code to code injection, you'll need to remove the code to use the built-in integration. Removing code won't affect your data and meta as long as you're Oh, fun. Okay, so this is if it's an older thing and you've already done this. So yeah, we skip this if we've never used metapixel with your Squarespace. We haven't in this case, but that's nice. It even shows you how to get rid of the old way of doing things. Good for Facebook. Okay, so we're going to go to our home menu of our website, click marketing, then click Facebook pixel and ads. And then wow, this is even better here too. Look, they add your Facebook ID in the tutorial. Oh man, you guys have it easy. In the field next to Facebook pixel, then we add this ID and we're going to click save. It's really that easy for this part. Please do this, guys. I know it's kind of gets a little bit mustardy with the pixeling and the IDs and the logging in and the nonsense. But once we get through all this, you're going to be so happy you did this. And it's really important for data. So just make sure you actually do this part. If you don't even want to run ads, you want this data. Trust me, you want this data. So we're going to go into home menu marketing, Facebook pixel and ads. So oh God, you're going to see some personal emails here for a second. Oh, I got rid of it. Okay, so here I am in Moment Maker in the editing area. I think I probably have to go to website tools. Let's find out. Let's go into home marketing. That's what they said. Did I read the tutorial though? That's the question. Did I read the tutorial? No. No, I did not. All right, let's go back to it and actually read the tutorial. Home menu marketing, then click Facebook pixel and ads. Well, I don't see that. I don't see that. Let's go to here it is, under settings. There it is, metapixel and ads. So metapixel ID. Don't know why it's not letting me click it. Don't want to use dynamic ads. That's not cool. Oh, I have to upgrade to the business or commerce plan to use a metapixel. My current plan doesn't include this feature. Well, let's upgrade. My God, just bleed me dry, why don't you? Uh-huh. So it's adjusted. Okay, that's good. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Who cares? Let's get rid of this. Okay, so we're going to go to back in here, marketing. And again, your website will need to be live in order to do this part. And as you can see, your website might also need a better plan based on what you've decided. So, you know, costs money to make money, unfortunately. That's the way she goes. We're going to go into here, get my pixel ID. Going to go back into here, put the pixel ID in, click save. Okay, I guess that's done. Let's click off of it and try again. Yeah, great. ID's right there. Perfect. So we'll just go back to the tutorial and say, hey, I did that. Next. Now we're going to verify your pixels working correctly. And again, this can only work if your website's actually live. So if you haven't made your domain name on Wix and paid for the hosting and actually click publish on the website, you won't be able to do any of this stuff, right? Because the website doesn't exist technically yet. So you can only put your pixel on and verify it's working if there's a real website there. So if that's what's happening to you guys and you're not seeing this stuff, it's because you haven't published your website yet. So now that we have, we're going to start sending test traffic. So we're going to go literally type in your URL of the website you just put it on. In this case, it's momentmaker.ca. And we're going to go back to our events manager. And it's clicking. And look, it's active. So the website's active. Our pixel's active that we just installed. Great. We're going to click next. Now we're going to add events using the event setup tool. This is super important because we need to tell Facebook, okay, cool, we have this pixel tracking now. So it's bringing user data to our website and the website's bringing user data back to Facebook and Instagram. Good. But we haven't told Facebook what events are valuable to us. So what on our website is actually an event and what is just a page view, right? And events are little stages that a user would make that provide value to your business is the easiest way I could describe it. So adding to cart is probably the most known one, or a checkout, right? That's an event. And so we need to tell Facebook on your website all the little ones that we care about. And in this example, we only have one just because it's a starter website. We're just building it out. And we have a form. So if you have a service-based business, you probably have a form as well. And so this example is going to be particularly helpful for you. But if you have like a e-com based business, you know, obviously checkouts and add to carts are super valuable for you too. So we're going to add this in without the code. We're going to use this tool. The website that you connect to will add your ad account configuration. So again, we're going to enter the website URL just like we did before. We're going to open the website. And it's going to come in and you'll see how it's changed now because we have this cool meta event setup tool hovering around in the top left of the screen. And we can literally click what events on this page are valuable to us. So we're going to track this button, make your moment right here. And we clicked it, right? And we can literally tell Facebook, well, what does this event mean? Well, that means it's a lead, right? And we can assign a value to a lead if you want. If this was a checkout, it would automatically, you can see here, do the cart subtotal, excluding tax. Or you can go don't include a value, right? In either case. So you click confirm. Now we have lead on this button, right? We can track a new button, go to contact us. And now that's not contact us. What that would happen is it wouldn't complete the contact us. It would just go to the contact us page. So in this case, I wouldn't click contact, right? I wouldn't click schedule, subscribe, anything like that, because they haven't technically done that. All they would do in this case is just go to the contact us page. But I would go to view contact or view content, sorry, and go confirm. And the reason I'm doing that is because I do want to know if people go to the contact us page and they're obviously interested in contacting us. And if they go to here, but then they don't contact me, I do want to see that funnel activity because I go, okay, well, maybe there's something wrong with my contact page that's making people a little bit wary, right? If 9 out of 10 people are interested, they go to contact us, then they see the contact us page, they don't fill out the contact us form. Well, then I need to change my contact us form, right? Either make it easier to do, make it more reassuring. Maybe I need to add more validation to my business. Something's happening where people in this example wouldn't be signing up, even though they've clicked this button and it seems like they want to. So that's why I add that event there. It's not super valuable, but it's valuable from a data nerdy nonsense perspective. Okay, so we're going to go to that's all the events on this page. Perfect. Let's go to all events, and we can see here all the events that we've done. Okay, we can go to track a URL. So this is what we're going to do. And in this example, I built out a quick thank you page. And that's what happens if people go to fill out this form here and they click make your moment, or they go to the contact us page and they fill out the form there and they click sign up or whatever, then they are redirected to a thank you page. Now I built that into the website already. It's not something standard, so that's something you'd have to do under your Wix website, but it's really easy under the form editor. You just go, hey, once someone fills out all this form and clicks yes, redirect them to a thank you page. And I would always do that just because it's really easy to track event activity on a browser. So the URL equals blah, blah, blah slash. Can I not change this? And this contains, there we go. Thank you. Maybe I can't do that because I'm on the wrong page. Okay, so let's just click finish setup in this case. Finish. Was the event tools helpful? You sure bet it was. Wow, it was great. Submit. Thank you for helping us improve. You got it, buddy. Okay, so now we're going to go, this is where you would do your thank you page URL. So instead, we're going to go momentmaker.ca/thank you, open up the website. And again, we're on the thank you page. We have view content, right? Living on this button here, which is good because we put it there. And we're going to go to track a URL, URL equals momentmaker.ca/thank you. We select the event. And I know that they are a lead in this case because they filled out the subscription and they're redirected here. So I could choose a value or don't include a value. And we have a currency with that. And we go confirm. Great. So setup complete. The lead event is live and being tracked on my website now. Awesome possum. And I click finish setup. Yep. So cool. Now we're going to go to step 2, verify your events in Events Manager. Again, don't have to do this, but why wouldn't you want to verify what you've done is good to go. So we click this, we're going to get redirected. Maybe sometime within this century. While we're waiting for this to load, just know that it's okay to be, hesitant and a little bit overwhelmed with some of this stuff. I am only clicking around and talking fast and snazzy about it because I've done it so much, and it's not necessarily easy. But there are lots of resources for you guys to check out on YouTube. If something I'm going over here looks different for you and you weren't able to figure it out, and Davey didn't know, I'd strongly recommend going on YouTube. There's lots of different tutorials on there as well that could help you, probably help you a lot better than I can as well. But yeah, this is still loading. Don't love this, guys. I hate dead air. Maybe I should read you a haiku I've been working on. I'm just going to reload because I'm so impatient. Hey, it worked. Look at that. So events may be delayed. No shit. Thanks, Facebook. So in other words, what they're saying is just because we went and clicked those buttons on the website It does obviously take the cron runs, nerd alert, I know what cron runs are, but basically it takes server function to actually go through and make it so that a random user can actually be tracked. So what they usually say is 24 hours for everything to come in. They're saying here it may take up to 30 minutes after you set up your event to see it in analytics, but it may honestly, I've seen a day. I've seen 24 hours before. So after we're all done all this and you're not seeing data right away, I usually check in the next day, open up my web browser, and when I'm doom scrolling, I also look and see if my events are set up. So we're going to confirm my website events are set up correctly. And once again, we're going to type in our website URL. And we're going to open it up. And we're going to scroll around. And we're going to look at things. And let's sign up here. Bob Testman would like to sign up. And here's a fun fact for you guys. While we're in here, you get a bonus tip. So my email, George Ridout, oh, sorry, I don't even know my own goddamn email, george.ridout22, right, at gmail.com. That's my real email. If you add a plus sign to anything after your email, but before the @ sign, and you can add any number of letters and numbers there. So in this case, we're going to test. I usually do the date 0705, right? And then you do your email address, or at gmail.com in this case. This is still valid as my email address and will still go to that same inbox. But it will, I'll get to see every interaction from this form. So when I'm testing things as somebody who's helping with data analytics, I always create a new test email address just here like this. And then it still comes to my main account, but I can see every interaction from this signing up this form because it's all hashed out with this fun test email as well. And that's a way that you can sign up multiple times too with the same email account. Let's say you were building this website, you filled it all out. Okay, it worked, but we wanted to make a change and then we wanted to test it out. Well, we've already signed up with this email. This is where you would sign up again. You could technically do it with the same email, but just with a new suffix kind of thing. So let's sign up for news and events. What time of event am I hosting? Kick-ass wedding. Kick-ass wedding. Tell us a little bit about it. We're going to go open bar, drunk a-holes, and in-laws fighting. Everyone's dream wedding. Okay, we're going to make my moment, and we're submitting. And we went to welcome to Moment Maker. Okay, now why do we do all this? Why does this matter? Because what we were doing is testing these events. And you can see if we go back to our other page here on Events Manager, we go back to Facebook, we can see here the lead was processed. We tested it. Good. Today at 10:53 a.m. Hey, that's now. The page view. So in other words, it knows I looked at a page, right? I subscribe button clicks. He was automatically logged. There we go. Bingo, bango, bongo. We got our events, so we're good. So if we go into overview, you might start seeing some data being pulled in. You might not, depending on how long it takes. But you can see here, I do have page view events coming through. So we have our active integration set up. We have our Facebook account set up. We have our Instagram account linked. Let's make some ads, which is what we're here to do. So because we went over this in class and because there's so many resources on this to help you, I'll spend a little bit less time here than I did obviously in class. But what we want to go to is go to add accounts, and you can get there through the clicking trail I just did where we click the settings, go to add accounts, or if we hover over here, right, we want to go to ads manager. You can also get there anytime by typing in the URL up here. And you can go to like add accounts. I forget the exact URL, so maybe I should adsmanager.facebook.com. See, adsmanager.facebook.com. If you type that into your browser URL, it'll direct you to somewhere like here, right? So add account updates is going to show up, set up improvements for web campaigns. I can optimize, blah, blah, blah. Click that off for now. It's telling me I need to add a payment method, which I obviously do, but I'm not doing that in this example. So we're going to go, this is what you should be seeing for your new ad account. And remember, guys, with your ads on Facebook, there's 3 layers, right? There's the campaigns, there's the ad sets, and then there's the ads, right? And if we go from reverse, so an ad always belongs to an ad set, and an ad set always belongs to a campaign, right? We can't have an ad without an ad set, and we can't have an ad set without a campaign. So campaigns are sort of the larger part. They house multiple ad sets, and then ad sets can house multiple ads. So if we go from reverse with ads, ads are obviously the ad, right? Like the content that the person sees and all the text and all the imagery and all the things like that. Fairly straightforward to understand. An ad belongs to an ad set, and an ad set is the targeting parameters of the ad. So the ad set dictates who is going to see the ad, what time are they going to see it, what different parts of the meta universe are distributing the ad. So in other words, is this ad going to show up on Facebook? Is it going to show up on Instagram? Is it going to show up on Instagram stories only? Is it going to show up in the marketplace only? Things like that. You set those parameters there. This is also where we set up our fun targeting of ages, demographic information, geography, all those things. This is sort of the meat of the ad delivery system. And then every ad set is owned by a campaign, and a campaign is where you tell Facebook quite simply, what do we value the most in this campaign? So in the case of a lead campaign or a sales campaign, we are going to be telling Facebook what I want to pay for, and what I want this campaign to do is get me sales or get me leads or get me awareness, right? If we were valuing impressions right now. So let's say we didn't have an actual thing to sell right now, or we didn't have a service, or we were a product on a shelf, but we didn't have any way for anyone to buy anything on us, but we did want somebody to know about a new product that was going out in Walmart, for example, right? We wouldn't want to be paying for sales to Walmart. What we would want to be doing is increasing awareness of our new product. So what we would be optimizing towards or paying Facebook for is, hey, we released this new product and it's everywhere. So those are sort of the larger brand campaigns, right? Or you're a brand new business and you want awareness for your brand, for example. So now that we have this campaign area clicked, you want to make sure this part is blue. These ones are gray, right? We're in campaign. This is how we're going to start. Now, you might have this asking you, does your business moment maker focus on politics or advocating for personal issues, blah, blah, blah. We want to say no, because if you were to click yes there, now you don't want to lie to Facebook. So if your business does do that, you definitely want to tell it that. One, because it'll put you in a different bidding pool and potentially make you cheaper for your ads. And two, you legally have to. So if you're focusing on political events, you have to go through this verification process. And then you have to submit your ID, and it gets a little bit more complicated. That's just the nature of advertising health based business ideas or political stuff or housing or things like that need to be controlled. In any case, we're going to go to create. They need to confirm a few details about my account before I can publish. I'm sure this has to do with my billing. So I'm going to ignore this for now. You obviously needed this filled out, so you could go to account overview and fill this out. Now we have buying type, and you're going to see auction reservation. Again, if you guys don't see your screen exactly like this, it's because I'm experiencing a different interface rollout than you are. And that doesn't mean anything. It's not something you can change. It's just Facebook, again, is always changing their interfacing and rolling out to different ad accounts at different times. So if yours looks slightly different than this, don't panic. The main portion of what we're doing will be the same. So I'm here looking at buying type, and I can go to auction or reservation. And we talked about this a little bit in my lecture, but what the difference between this means is auction is I'm willing to enter the auction and bid, right, on the ad, and the price of those ads can fluctuate based on the amount of available eyeballs in my targeting, the amount of other people in the auction, other businesses going after those same eyeballs, the value of their actions, right? So this can fluctuate wildly. Whereas if I click reservation, then I'm saying, okay, I'm going to get, for example, 10,000 people to look at this ad, and it's going to cost $100. And that's just static. And that's what it is. It's an agreement between you and Facebook. I wouldn't recommend reservation because it can be pretty technical. And you'll see if I were to click this, we can only do awareness and engagement, right? We can't even do sales or anything like that because obviously Facebook doesn't want to guarantee anything about that stuff because so much of it depends on the value you bring through your business, right? Facebook can only guarantee things that happen on their platform, like showing the ad. So that's all they would guarantee towards. And also, it's a little bit more complicated with reservation. You kind of have to know what those parameters are and what you're willing to pay for. So I would enter the auction always. And for example, let's say we wanted to create a leads campaign for Moment Maker. We click leads and we go to continue. Now it's going to say, hey, here's some recommended settings, and it's streamlined and easier. I always click manual because I like to learn. I recommend you guys do as well. So we have this show up here. We got new leads campaign, new leads ad set, and new leads ad created. We get one of each as a starting spot. A campaign can always contain more than one ad set, and an ad set can always contain more than one ad. Now, new leads campaign, this is our campaign name. Again, it's not public facing. This is just something for us to understand. So let's call this Moment Maker Leads Launch. And that's just something so I know when I'm looking at this ad account and later when there's more than one campaign, what is this campaign actually doing? Well, it's getting me leads and I built it at launch, right? That's kind of how I do this. And then we go into campaign details. Buying type is auction. My campaign objective, in other words, what am I paying Facebook to get me? Leads. Now you can click show more options and you could have a campaign spending limit. So let's say I want to add one and I want to only spend $500 on this campaign. Okay, then once $500 has been hit, the campaign's going to turn off. I do want to turn on down here. You see Advantage Campaign Budget, and that will distribute my budget across different ad sets. So if we have more than one ad set, which I recommend you do, again, remember to test different creative, to test different targeting, then we're telling Facebook, listen, I don't need you to do a 50-50 split here. You can distribute the budget to the better performing budget, okay? And then we also can say here, what is my daily budget or my lifetime budget, right? In this case, again, I'm going to make this the same. I want it to be $500, right? I won't spend more than $500 in the lifetime of this campaign, and I may spend more on days that are converting better and less on days that are not, okay? You could also increase your budget during specific time periods. Obviously, you can't during lifetime budget. That's what will happen automatically. But if you were to say, let's say daily budget and you were spending $20 a day, you could say, you know what, on the weekends, juice it to $40 a day, for example. Okay, so we're going to click next. So again, under this campaign, we basically told Facebook what I care about in this campaign is leads, and my total budget for the lifetime of this campaign is $500. So once it reaches $500, turn off this campaign. Now we go into our ad set, and we can see here it's not called anything. It's called new leads ad set. And this is where I usually name it based on targeting. So let's say the people I'm going after for this wedding business is, let's go 25 to 45. And we're going to go engaged and engaged London. Again, no one's going to see this. This is just for you to understand what is this ad set doing, right? So the conversion location that we see pop up here, if you're not making a leads campaign, you're going to not see this here. So you could do instant forms, in which case a form would open up on the Facebook app. If they're interested, they could fill out the details there. I would recommend that, especially if you're just starting out, because it does eliminate friction. But for the purposes of this example, I do want to show the events that we just set up on the website. So I'm going to click website. And then the performance goal is maximize number of conversions. In other words, I want to have a, I want to have the ads maximize the number of conversions. But instead I could go maximize the number of landing page views. I could maximize the number of people I bring to the website. I can maximize the daily unique reach, but my performance goal is conversions here. And my pixel, you can see, is Moment Maker. Now, if you skipped the pixel setup and you went right into playing with ads, you're not going to see this part here. And then the conversion events are the ones that we've set up, right? So they give you some examples here on what you can do. And I'd like a lead, please. Okay. Now it's telling me set up conversion, but I have done that. And remember, it does take some time in order for this to go through. So it's saying here, for example, I haven't set up conversions. We have set it up. So don't worry too much about that. If in 24 hours you still get this, then we're going to have to reach out to Facebook help desk and walk through that. But I'm not concerned about it. I know we set it up just a little while ago. Then we're going to scroll down to budget and schedule. This is the schedule of this ad set within the campaign. So obviously setting this up for today, let's call it 12 p.m. Right? And I can have an end date, and let's call it the end of July. You don't have to have an end date in this case because we have a budget end. So we know this campaign is going to automatically turn off once we reach $500. But if that wasn't the case and you were just running a daily ongoing campaign forever, and you just wanted to run daily spends, but you still wanted to have an end date based on creative, for example, let's say your campaign had to do with a specific sale at a specific time, you could do that there. Okay, now we go into audience control, and you can see here it's really limited. So I want to get rid of that, and I want to see audience controls in ad. Oh, no, I don't. I want to go to show more options down here. And I want to go to switch to original audience options. Now, this is because I like to play with the audience options a lot better. Facebook is slowly getting rid of this. As you can see, it's making it harder and harder to get to. And I suspect within a year and a half, I probably won't be able to do this anymore. So I'm going to take advantage of it while I can. I'm going to switch to original audience options. And even here it's saying, hey, don't do it. Use our cool AI Advantage Plus placements. And I'm like, no, I want to use my OG because I'm an OG baby. I'm an old man. I don't like new things. So audience, we're going to create it. Location, in this case, Canada is a little too broad because Sarah can't fly all over Canada. So we're going to go into London, Ontario, and the 25 miles surrounding that. That sounds pretty good to me. You could increase that and go, what's 30 miles look like? Does it get into Woodstock? Yeah, cool. That looks good. So right now we're targeting people who live in or are current or are frequently in this location. Okay. And here's where we would change the the age. And I think I called this ad set 25 to 45. So I'm going to do that here. Right. And then this is where you would add your fun stuff that everyone stresses out about, all the different targeting behaviors and interests. And again, when we're first starting out, I would make sure that we limit this to 1 to 2 to maximum 3 things in one ad account or one ad set, sorry, so that we're not just putting a bunch of things in there because we don't know what works yet. And when we're first starting a new ad campaign, we really want to take as much learnings as we can because, to be real with you, we're probably not going to get stellar results right away. But we do need to get, if we're spending this money, is learnings, right? So the more interests and behaviors and demographics that stack up on top of each other, the less of an idea we'll have later as to what of those interests worked or what didn't work. So in this case, it's better to keep it more narrow on a single interest or behavior. And then if we want to try a different one, right? If we want to, let's say, for example, so in this case, we can go to literally engaged recently, right? Relationship status engaged, right? Or newly engaged, 1 year, 6 months. So we can target people who've been engaged within 6 months, which sounds about right for me. And they're 25 to 45. don't overly care about gender, but if we were, let's say we're targeting women. Now you'll see here, this audience is too specific for your ads to be shown. Try making it broader, right? Because it's below 1,000. In other words, Facebook's saying, listen, like below 1,000 people have been engaged in London in this area. And so in order to help that, we could broaden out our search, right? And maybe we're going to increase our market. So we could add another location. And let's say we wanted to enter into the Toronto marketplace, right? We could do that as well. Okay. Now our estimated audience size is a little bit bigger, 1,400 to 1,700. And I get a lot of questions about, well, what's the right audience size and da 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 da. A lot of that's going to determine on both the campaign, like what it is we're trying to do, and your specific business, obviously, right? So I know that's kind of a non-answer, but I would aim to be, if you can, in this fun green area here. And right now we're still in the red. So maybe what I'll do is I'll increase my age range as well. So we're going to go 20 to 45. You can see we added a couple hundred more people. And maybe we just won't be age specific at all. Maybe we'll just go, hey, listen, you got married, or if you got recently engaged, now we're 3,600 to 4,200. That's looking better for me. We're still in the red, but I'm not overly concerned about it. I could add, let's add Hamilton. If we're in Toronto, let's be in Hamilton as well, right? Okay. And then let's be in Windsor. We're just going through different places here that I know we could serve, right? Realistically, we could drive to Windsor. We could drive. And now we've hit this green, right? Which is good. Green is good. So our audience is defined. It's not too broad. It's not too specific. Now, I do have a warning here saying campaigns ad set may get 0 leads based on how we've set it up because the campaign is still not expanded enough. Rarely do I see that. So I'm going to ignore that in this case. But it's your money, up to you, right? So we've got newly engaged people within 6 months, could be anybody, man or woman, any age within those cities. And that's who we're targeting in this case. Now, if we wanted to add in another layer, we could add in interest to, let's go with like bridal stuff. Maybe they're interested in, maybe they're interested in David's bridal. So they've recently looked at some David's bridal stuff, right? And you can see that went way up. Now, just because they're interested in that doesn't mean they're necessarily my target. So I don't really want to target them. But I'm just showing you an example on how much, if you add in multiple things, you can really see this number move, right? I'm going to get rid of this, though. I don't think that's really helpful in this case. Now, you're probably going to have placements be auto checkmark with Advantage Plus placements. And what that means is don't worry about it. Let Meta's delivery system determine what ad format is best for you. And because, like I said, what we want to learn here is, or what we want to do with this is learn at the very least, is I'm going to say no to Advantage Plus placements. I'm going to edit this and go into manual placements. We can see here we have a big list pop up. Now, as I check off some of these things, I want you guys to look over here at the audience size, right? So our audience size right now is 4,500 to 5,300 people who've been engaged within the last 6 months, right? Maybe for the purposes of this example, let's go to newly engaged a year. I don't know anybody who needs an event planner within a year, but it could happen. So let's get rid of this. And I'm doing this just to increase this ad thing so I can show you different drop-offs. So let's say I get rid of Messenger altogether, which I would recommend. I get rid of Audience Network. Now we're going to see a big drop. Now we got 8,000 to 9,400 people left. And we're going into platforms Facebook and Instagram. Cool. And we're going into Facebook feed. That makes sense to me. Instagram feed makes sense to me. Profile feed, sure. Facebook Marketplace, no. People who are buying stuff on Facebook Marketplace, probably not in the mood to look for an event planner, right? So I'm going to turn that off. If I don't have video, I'm going to turn off video feeds, right? Instagram Explore, people on that Explore page, unless I have really crazy, cool, creative, probably not going to go the Explore page because it's going to be a waste of money. And then Explore Home, we're going to get rid of that one. And then in Stories and Reels, I'll keep the Reels, Facebook Reels, Instagram Reels, and we'll keep the Stories. Maybe I'll turn off the Reels. And then in-stream ads for videos and Reels. I don't have any video creative, so we're going to turn that off. And we're going to turn off search result as well. Okay, so now we're here. We're going to go to next. And we have our ad name. Okay, so this again is not public facing. So this is just an ad. So we're going to call this Moment Maker Leads A, for example. And this is just a name that I know later when I'm looking at this. And when you have multiple ads, you can call it like Girl with Teddy Bear or whatever makes sense to you in that example. So in this case, we need to click the identity. So this is going to be public. So Moment Maker is the Facebook page that we're attributing this ad to, and Moment Maker is the Instagram account. It's not showing up here, but we did the oh, I know why. Here we go. We can go back to Business Suite, Instagram accounts. We need to give me access to it. That's why. So we're going to go through here, assign it, done, connect the assets to my ad account. We're going to click done, done. And if we go back to Ads Manager, it's not going to appear here. So I'll have to click out, redo this page, just refresh it. So we're going to click into our ad set, go to our Moment Maker Leads A, click here. Does it show up now? Hey, look at that. Okay. Now it's saying it won't run on Instagram because it doesn't have a profile photo. Again, that's because this is an example. We need a profile picture in our Instagram account in order to run ads here, but we don't have it in this case because we just built this for the example. But this is where you're going to create the ad. So we can manually upload the images or videos, which I would recommend because you have a new ad account most likely. You can click single image or video here. You can click carousel if you have 2 or more scrollable images. That's always good if you want to tell sort of a small narrative or you want to show more examples if you have a product as well. In this case, I'm just going to click single image for this example. And we could connect our ad sources to include more information in my ad as well. So that would have site links and offers and things like that. I haven't messed around with this too much because this is a new ability, but let's go to momentmaker.com or .ca, sorry. And if they find site links, they'll throw them in basically. And you can go to site links added here as well. So for ad creative, we're going to add media. We're going to add an image. We're going to upload an image. Here's the fun one that we did in our example. I know this has nothing to do with Moment Maker, but we're just going to add this in as the example. So here's our fun David's cologne. Here's what it looks like in our feed at 1080 by 1080 or a 1:1, right? Here's what it looks like in our stories. And if I click 9:16, it will crop the image, right? So you can choose if you want to do that. You can have the original and it would have this gray up and down in this example, or you can full on replace the image. And this is where if you had made a story sized version of the same ad, which I recommend you do, that's where you would put that in. Okay, but so we've added this in and we can see our ad examples come through here. Moment Maker, here's our ad, right? And our primary text, you know, business boss bottled, smell like a champ, right? Whatever your primary text is, you guys have that fun template I've sent you for that. Oh, look at this AI. Experience the confidence and success that comes from our premium fragrance. I like that. Let's go with that. And then headline is David can be bought. And then description is again something that like in the template that I showed you, you guys know that the description isn't available on everything, but the description does show up in certain places. So this isn't a place to put vital information, but it is a place to put you know, a bonus little value you want to add as well. So order your bottle now and smell like a winner. And then our call to action, which again, this is what our little button is going to turn into. And we can only pick from the ones that Facebook allows us to pick from. So we're going to go learn more, bring people over to our website. And then this is where we would do our destination. I know now our example is sort of not making sense because we have different websites going to different things, and this is supposed to be for Moment Maker, but I just love this image so much. I don't care. Let's use it. And so this is where we're bringing people, right? You can see here now it changed on the ad momentmaker.ca. David can be bought. And then our display link is, let's say our display link has, or let's say our URL that we're bringing people is actually momentmaker.ca/landing page, blah, 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 blah. And we don't want that to be shown. We would just click here and we would change the display link to be just momentmaker.ca, for example. Browser add-ons you can add. I'd say none because, again, I don't want to give people too much things to do. I already have a strong call to action with learn more. I don't want to add in calling, WhatsApp, instant form, blah, 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 all these different things that are going to create analysis paralysis with our potential customer. And the more options happen, the less likely they're going to do anything because they're just going to be overwhelmed with choice. So I go with none. You could do a call if you want to, or you could do an instant form if you were doing an instant form in app instead of bringing to the website. But I wouldn't do that and bring people to the website. Pick one thing you want people to do, and we can validate whether or not it happened. And tracking, you can see here our Moment Maker pixel that we've installed together is showing up. That's great. And we could click publish once we're happy with our ad creative. Now, just to go over our headlines and descriptions and primary text, again, we could add in other options for these. And then that way, Facebook can take the David can be bought. It could be like cologne for a real business boss, right? As another example. And then some users would see David can be bought. Some users would see cologne for a real business boss. And Facebook would test it. And then the winner would receive, the winner would be the creative the rest of the people would see after the learning phase is done. So we're going to click publish here once you're happy with your ad. And then in this case, we have our campaign with one ad set and one ad. Again, I just like in class when I was hanging out with you guys, I would recommend at least 3 ad creatives, have them be different. Spend time on the creative, guys. Don't shortchange the creative. That's really where your conversions are going to be. Don't spend money on Facebook and spend all this time you guys are doing on your website to then shortchange your ad creative, which is where I see people doing it the most. You know, you go, I don't, it's good. We got an ad. We got it. But really take some time, get some video. Video is the most converting format for sure. And spend time on it. Make sure you're really happy with it. All the targeting stuff that people get really stressed out about and wondering, is this a big enough audience? Is my bid strategy enough? Did I add in the right demographics here? You know, these things are important, but they're just the delivery. And at the end of the day, if you think about it from like a male perspective, it's the flyer that brings you in, right? It's not, at the end of the day, you need to see the flyer in order to be converted by it, but you can't be converted by creative you hate. So don't stress out a lot on this and shortchange the creative. Focus on the creative first. Know your audience. Who are you talking to? Talk like them. and then make sure that you're always building a landing page that matches your creative. So in this case, I broke my own rule because we're bringing people to momentmaker.ca, right? But if I wanted this campaign to be successful, I would have in advance, I would have created a landing page specifically for this campaign that introduces Moment Maker, gives value to people who are, I know the targeting, right? I know they live in London or Hamilton or Windsor. I know they've just been engaged within a year. I can mention all those things on my landing page and I can talk to them specifically. And that goes far and above the effort that you put in. That is where the magic happens with conversion, is just talk to the people, be specific. Don't talk about you, talk to the customer, and don't shortchange the creative. Okay? Blah, blah, blah. Mansplaining done. We can go review and publish here. This is green because it's in draft mode. When it is actual published, it won't be green anymore. It'll be like gray to clear, right? So this is green because it's still in draft. But once I were to review and publish all these things and click this big scary button, your ads would be first being sent to Facebook help desk to be approved, right? They're going to look at the creative and go, yep, this isn't, someone's genitalia or something like a middle finger or something crazy like that. This looks good. And it's approved. And then your ads would be in market. And then what typically would happen is you'd see what's called a learning phase. And that's a small amount of time that Facebook's testing out your ad bidding to see what's working. And once it receives a certain amount of the ideal conversions, in this case, it would be leads, but if it was sales, it'd be sales, or if what you were doing on the campaign would be impressions, it would be, okay, who's the most available audience for that. Once the learning phase is done, then your full spend actually happens and you start actually going into your daily budget. But yeah, that's campaigns, friends. Don't be scared, play around a little bit. You're going to learn. Again, try and make learning for you as easy as possible by just doing one thing. Just change one thing. So if we were going to duplicate this ad set and I wanted it to stay within the existing campaign, Moment Maker, right? We can see here I made a copy. And let's go. I have to rechange my ad set name, but let's go not engaged, but we'll go David Bridal Interest, for example, to just as an example. So we're going to keep the geographic targeting the same. Again, we're going to just change one thing. So literally the only thing I'm going to change in this case is the life events. We're going to get rid of these. And we're going to go people who are interested in David's bridal. Now, do I think that that's a good targeting? No, because they're, it's a pretty broad audience. You can see here it's 2 million to 2.3 million people. And the chances that they're looking for an event planner right now, probably slim. They're probably somebody who was like, ooh, I like that dress, or ooh, I saw this on Pinterest or whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're probably not the most converting people. But as an example, I'm just changing one thing here. I'm keeping the geo targeting the exact same. I'm keeping the age targeting the same, keeping the gender targeting the same. I'm going to keep the ad the same, right? I'm not even going to change what it's called. All I'm literally doing is changing this. And so when we launch this campaign, we're going to spend $500, right? And as Facebook launches this creative and targets to this ad set and this ad set, the one that's performing the best will get the lion's share of the budget. So what I'm telling Facebook to do is just test versus these two interests, right? And give the better interest the more money. And you could do this theoretically an infinite number of times. I could create another ad set and it would test a different thing, right? Maybe we'd want to go David's bridal, but a different age range, for example, right? So I'm just showing you that so that you can try different things, but again, don't stack too many interests in one ad set. If you want to do more than one interest, create more than one ad set. And then that way you can really learn from it when the campaign's done. You can go, well, the David bridal interest audience targeting sucked. No one clicked that ad from that pool of people, but people from this pool of people did convert a lot better. And then we've learned something, right? We know not to go with David Bridal. But but that's that, friends. I hope this was helpful. I'm always around for questions. You got my email. Reach out anytime. And happy advertising. I hope this was helpful for you. And yeah, maybe I'll see you guys soon.